What's up, guys? Welcome to Far From Blake, and this is my out of theater quick reaction to Thunderbolts. Okay, guys, so I just got home from seeing the new Thunderbolts movie. I'm not going to go into any specific spoilers of this movie yet. Please consider liking and subscribing. I am going to record my spoiler review right after this. But right now, I just wanted to give my quick initial thoughts and get it on YouTube. And my quick initial thoughts was, I loved it. This movie was awesome. You definitely got to go see this one. MCU is back, baby. MCU is back. Now you're probably thinking, Blake, I've heard MCU is back a million times. What do you mean by that? What I mean is that this is clearly, in my opinion, the best original post-Endgame movie to date. And what I mean by original is that I don't. When you're going through the likes of like Guardians 3, that was a James Gunn end of trilogy. You know, we love James Gunn and we love Guardians. Spider-Man No Way Home, the end of a trilogy, it was a spectacle. You know, all that multiversal stuff. Same with Deadpool and Wolverine. It was a spectacle, multiversal stuff, blah, 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 blah. This is clearly the best movie that doesn't have a gimmick. It doesn't have any of those special, intangibles. This is just a this is a story about a bunch of misfits coming together, broken people. The central themes of this movie is essentially loneliness, people trying to find purpose, self-worth, stuff of that nature, and just mental health and depression itself. So it's a very, resonating theme that I think anyone can resonate with, right? So, with that said, the theme is so strong that anyone can connect with it. The action is still really good. The comedy is still fun. It's still a fun MCU movie, but it feels like a movie that actually matters in the sense of we are back in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that's what I mean when I say MCU is back. This feels like the first movie in a long time that actually matters and actually has connective tissue from the previous work, even not just phase 1, 2, and 3, but actually from phase 4 and 5 and moving forward. You gotta stay for the post-credit scenes. There's a mid-credit scene and there's a post-credit scene. It's very, very towards the end. At the end, you have to go through all these long credits, but you must stay because this is the first post-credit scene that I could think of that actually matters, that actually gets you hype, especially after watching such a good movie. So yeah, I'm hype. I think this movie was emotional. It had a heartbeat. It was strong in just the character work, and it made you really care about the characters. If you haven't seen these Thunderbolt characters in their previous work, maybe you stopped watching the MCU series and stuff like that, and all the stuff that came after Endgame. I know a lot of people started to do that. This movie does a great job at introducing these characters in a way to where if you haven't seen the previous work, it doesn't really matter. Now, if you have seen it, it definitely enhances it. There's certain characters that I don't know if you would know, right? Without it. Like, and I don't mean our immediate Thunderbolt characters. There's a female character who appeared in a Hawkeye post-credit scene. I don't know if she was in the whole show. I haven't seen the original Hawkeye show in a while, but if you haven't seen that show, maybe whatever. But it doesn't really matter. The story does stand alone, strong on its own, and it's kind of set up in a way to where anyone can just get in and get the theme of, like I said, mental health, depression, loneliness, finding purpose in life. That's something anyone can connect with, and you don't need to know all this mumbo jumbo. But if you do know all this mumbo jumbo, all us MCU nerds that haven't gave up since post Endgame and have watched everything, you're gonna appreciate all the little Easter eggs throughout it as well. But I will get into that more in my spoiler review. So yeah, I loved it. It was really, really good. You definitely gotta check it out. You cannot sleep on this one. This is important. MCU is back. This is the first step. Next, we have Fantastic Four first steps, right? And then it's Avengers Doomsday. So if you're not locked in, it's time to get locked in. Thunderbolts is bringing the MCU back to true form. I'm going to wrap it up. Subscribe so you can see my spoiler review. So if you really liked this movie and you have already seen it and you want to see all my thoughts on just the movie in depth of what actually happens, subscribe so you can see what my thoughts are. Also, subscribe because I'm gonna make a lot of content revolving this movie because I think it deserves it, and I'm just kind of hype on the MCU now. So I'm gonna possibly do a post Endgame ranking or a Phase Five or not a Phase Five. Whatchamacallit, I might rank all the phases. So phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was the conclusion of phase 5, I believe. So I think we're moving on to phase 6 moving forward. I might have to double check that. Regardless, I will still rank it 1 through 5 because sounds like a fun idea. And I might even do a Thunderbolts ranking of the characters, right? So comment below if you would like to see that, if you were loving this movie the way I am. But either way, subscribe so you can see my spoiler review.